Welcome everyone to the Reboot Show. We are here today. I'm here with the resident panelist, Luke Stow. We have a special segment for you today, which is our weekly news feed, where we're going to share a few things with you about some of the stories and the technology stories that have really caught our attention this week. So the first one that I've noticed in the news, Luke, is around the sale of TikTok. And there's been talks about Microsoft and Walmart teaming up to buy TikTok. So what's that all about? What have you been hearing?
Well, we spoke about this a little while ago, but just to update everyone on the news of this is where the American part of TikTok is being looked at, being sold. And one of the suitors is a combination of Microsoft and Walmart. Very interesting from a perspective of look at the capabilities that those two organizations will get with being the winning purchaser of TikTok in America. Out of the 800 million users globally, I think 80 million of those are in the US. So it gives these two businesses quite a powerful tool and gives them a lot of technology capability in, challenging for the likes of Amazon. So we watch that space with interest. Although the Chinese government has put the brakes on this, I suspect that this deal will go through. And what we'll see is, over the next 30, 60 days, that the eventual winner out of Oracle, I think, is the other bidding party, will come out, and we'll see what happens with that technology from there. But quite an exciting development, I think, in technology and what that means for the consumer.
Yeah, and it's really interesting as well, like those players that are looking at buying it. Like, what do you think is their motivation really behind that purchase? I know we spoke about it in a lot more detail before, but just that top line view of what are the real key drivers, do you think, behind that purchase?
Well, TikTok's a powerful application. I mean, it's a data sucking machine. I love saying that. It sort of brings to fruition about what this thing's about. But it really does have a lot of capability about location, what the people have been looking at, how they've been using their keystrokes to engage with the TikTok application. It also has quite a controversial copy and paste capability where it looks at what you've been copy and pasting. So all these functions and features, along with its powerful AI capability, mean that it is a real powerful asset in retailing and in engaging with consumers. So that's why they want to. It's a powerful application.
Yeah, it's great. And, around that sort of data conversation, we've heard a lot about that coming out, particularly in another news story that broke this week around what has been predicted to be the next big IPO to come out of Silicon Valley. And it's a company called Polenta. And the CEO, Alex Karp, has sort of commented on around, what they do and what that looks like. And so can you explain a little bit about, what that company does and why there's so much hype around this company? I mean, they've been around since 2003. Like, why are people really talking about them now?
This is an amazing business. I mean, this organization is definitely considered one of the unicorns of Silicon Valley. Palantir has an amazing machine and AI capability. And what's has been happening has been quite interesting. So they've called, just a couple of key things. One, Alex Karp, the CEO, isn't sure if he wants to stay in Silicon Valley. He calls it a monoculture, which, I grew up with. So to me, that sort of had some agricultural terms. But basically what it means is everyone's doing the same thing. So he's obviously doesn't want to be part of that. His employees have actually been raising a lot of internal concerns about the firm doing a lot of government contracts. And they're not liking this because they have a sense of AI and machine learning being used for good and not being used to help government agendas. Look, I think it is a free enterprise, so it's it should be able to engage with whomever it likes. But employers have this sensitivity towards it. What's quite exciting about the technology space here is they've created a platform. It's called Gotham. And for those who read a lot of comic books, you know that Gotham is the city in which Batman lives. So I sort of find this a little bit intriguing that, what is going on here. Palantir has an application called Gotham. It's a unicorn in terms of AI and machine learning. And for those interested, you should check them out. This is an amazing AI and machine learning company.
What's so good about the product that they have? Like, what makes it so different to perhaps some other companies out there that help to aggregate data and help to pull insights from data? Like, why are they standing out right now?
Well, instead of just talking about it, they're doing it, which is a big differentiator in this AI market. There's a lot of people talking. But what is fascinating about it is they've been able to create models which pull together lots of different data sources, nothing new there, but their powerful platform, this Gotham platform, is amazing in the way that it's able to crunch these data elements and take data elements and then provide meaningful reports. So they're really about giving really clear insights out of mountains and mountains of data. So that is a really powerful capability that they've got hold of. Look, and I think they're one to watch. I think this is going to be an exciting IPO. I think they've got a lot of government contracts. Not surprisingly, Amy, they are funded by a part of the CIA. So that raises eyebrows as well. You know, we see the type of conversation that goes on politically and commercially when organizations have any connection into government. We've talked about it with TikTok, and that's resulting in a sale of the US. But with Plantera, it's on the IPO, and they've got definite government funding. So interesting space.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix. I noticed that they do sort of 50% in the commercial market, 50% sort of government contracts. So, you know, I find it interesting how they have a foot in both camps, if you like, in terms of balancing out what they're doing in that space. And, you know, those government contracts, they're not cheap contracts, are they? You know, they're significant amounts of work, significant tenders that go into place. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. Sorry,
we should say, sorry to interrupt you, but we should say they do a lot of good. So they have done a lot of great work with agriculture and you know, looking at how food sources are traveled all around the world, how export markets work, how import markets work around food. They've done a lot of work on that. They have done a lot of good work on human trafficking. So this is a really good organization. The people that work there are really conscious about the work they're doing with machine learning and AI, and they've got some really strong ethics about the way they go about it. So, you know, all in all, I think this is a space to watch. And interesting that they were the only commercial enterprise that was invited to a meeting with Trump and his advisors on some of the political landscape concerns that are going on currently globally. So they have a really big into the US government.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I agree with you in terms of, I think when you're pushing the boundaries of innovation like that, there's always going to be some sort of controversy that pops up. And I think, you know, from a company standpoint, as long as you've got your ethics and your morals in place, you know, you can't please everyone, but you just have to, you know, forge forward in the right direction. I think that's what they're doing.
I'm interested in our audience views of Plantera. Please do drop us a note. And we watch this story and we'll continue to report on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. And one of the other innovators that we always love following, and we're always sort of seeing the latest that comes out from this guy. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't in the audience, but Elon Musk was in the news again this week. Surprise, surprise. But maybe in a different way to what we're used to seeing with the SpaceX and all the different explorations that he's doing. There's actually a company, Neuralink, where they were talking about inserting chips into pigs. Am I right there, Luke? Tell me a little bit about what's the purpose of that.
This is, you know, I go back to my farming days and my grandfather would turn in his grave. This is an amazing story. So Elon, you know, has been working on this for some time with a project called Neuralink. This is about putting capability into the brain of the pig. The pig's called Gertrude. Can you believe it? I mean, I couldn't think of a better name. Ever. Gertrude has this, wired capability, which basically means that they're monitoring. I think there's something like 3,000 sensor capabilities that they've put through this, which can monitor 1,000 neurons that are going on within the brain. So this is an amazing type of technology. And the idea here is that this is about connecting, in Elon's words, the human mind to artificial intelligence. This is going to be the link. And so I watch this with real interest because this is about how we may move forward from an AI capability and have human mind control what's happening around them from an AI and robotics and device capability. So this is an interesting space. Elon himself says that one of the good things that we can do with this technology is we can help with Parkinson's disease, which ravages a lot of people. and is deeply affecting a lot of human beings. So this can be used for good, but the good in me can't help but wonder what evil can it be used for as well. So I watch this with space. I think this is going to be an interesting development. And poor old Gertrude, let's hope she's well, and we can continue to see what happens there.
Yeah, Gertrude, great name for a pig. Love it. That's great. So, I think from, what we've seen from the week, what's the biggest takeaway, do you think, from the audience of what we're seeing happening in the technology space this week?
Oh, look, I think the TikTok story is the headline. I think that's an amazing story to watch from a technologist perspective. The sale of TikTok in the American market is going to be a massive outcome, massive on a global political, scale as well. I'm not going to get into that. All those theoretical type of discussions about what that may be about. But for the consumer, I think this is an interesting space to watch. Walmart is a massive retailer, and they will take on Amazon with this. And with the power of Microsoft, and particularly Azure, the platform which Walmart is a big user of, this is a fascinating story to watch. Not to put under any doubt that Gertrude the pig isn't a big story, but I think this one in particular is the story of the week.
Yeah, I think they're all, kind of watch this space, if you like, with those stories. That's great. Well, thanks so much, Luke, for dropping your insights from the newsfeed this week. For anyone that's listening to this, let us know what you found interesting this week. Drop us a comment below if there's a news story in the technology space that's really stood out to you. We'd love to hear about it. Let us know, and make sure to catch us on the next week newsfeed and the other segments of the Reboot show as well. So subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. See you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.